Hi all, Flippin' Points here with a quick tutorial on how to effectively participate in Alliance Duel, aka Versus. Alliance Duel is one of the key mechanics in the game Last War, and if you're not participating in it effectively, you are really stunting your growth and your progress in this game. In my mind, it's a lot like playing the game of Monopoly, and every time you land on a property, just declining to buy it. Yes, you will still gain some resources as you pass go, but you've effectively taken yourself out of the running for doing anything meaningful in the game at all. The same is true here. So before we talk about how to effectively participate in Alliance Duel, let's define what it is. As the name implies, Alliance Duel is a duel between your alliance and one other alliance. It is a duel that spans 6 days, with the 7th day being a rest or a reset day. And this set of 7 days will repeat every week that you play this game. Now, if you're currently in one of the 6 Alliance Duel days, there will be an icon in the upper right-hand quadrant of your screen that says VS for Versus. If you click this, you can learn more about the current Alliance Duel. On the first screen here, it will lay out today's theme, which in this case is base expansion. Each of the days will have their own theme, and on each of these days there are certain activities or resources you can deploy in order to gain points towards the Alliance Duel. These are documented down here in the lower part of the screen. Now, the points that you're gaining are points for your alliance. They help your alliance win the duel versus the other alliance, but they are also points for you. What I mean by that is that in the middle of the screen here, there are a number of chests that you unlock as you gain these points. These chests begin at 40,000 points, with the final one being at 7.2 million points. Ultimately, what you'd like to be able to do is accrue 7.2 or more million points every day so that you net all of these chests. These chests have fairly significant rewards in them, and so by opening them, you are going to advance your progress in this game much more than if you were not opening them. So this screen is a lot about you. If you want to know more about the duel overall, you can go to the Duel Progress tab up here. At the top of the screen, it will show you the breakdown for the current day, how many alliance points your alliance has versus how many alliance points your opponent has. At the bottom of the screen, it'll have a breakdown of the entire week here. It'll have all 6 days. It'll talk about what each of those days are. You can press any of these in order to get a breakdown of the day. And for days that you've already passed through, it'll have an indication of what alliance won that day, what person in either alliance was the MVP for that day, and how many points the winning alliance received. Now, at the end of the week, the points will be added up. The alliance who had the most amount of points is going to be the winner, and all of their members will receive a large amount of extra plunder or reward for the week. So this is also a reason why you want to be quite effective in Alliance Duel, because if your team wins, you're going to gain even more resources aside from those unlocked from the chests. So now let's talk about how to be effective. Being effective in Alliance Duel really comes down to the idea of patience. You want to be patient with your resource deployment. So to this end, I've made a little infographic to help understand. Let's go over to it now. On this infographic, we have the 6 days listed going down from the top here. And on each of these days, you can see the tasks or the resources you have to use in order to gain points on that day. Now, for some resources and tasks, they will only gain points on a single day. There are a few resources and tasks that will gain points on multiple days. The main idea of this patience mechanism is that you want to hold on to resources. Be patient in deploying them until the day where they actually matter. Let's define this via an example. Let's go to day 4 here. On day 4, you'll see you can use hero shards to gain Alliance Duel points. There is no other day where this is true. So what you want to do is hold on to your hero shards. Don't spend them on days 1 through 3. Don't use them on days 5, 6, or the rest day. Hold them through all of those days until you're on day 4, and then use all the hero shards you have to maximize the amount of Alliance Duel points that you receive. You'll open those chests, and you will also help your alliance win that day, bringing you one step closer to winning the ultimate victory over the other alliance. Now, if this is your first time hearing this idea of patience, you might be thinking, wow, this is really going to slow my progress in the game. I'm definitely not going to do this. This seems ludicrous. I just want to spend my resources as soon as I get them. What I have to tell you about that is that could not be further from the truth. You will advance much, much further, much faster if you are strategic with your resource deployment and if you employ this patience idea than if you hadn't. Over multiple weeks, a player who is patient with their resource deployment, aligning it with the correct versus day, will far surpass a player who is getting resources and immediately burning them to whatever end they want. This is a much better way to do things both for you and for your alliance, but especially for your progress. Now, the one other thing I want to mention here is there is a strategic way to burn resources on these days or to use resources. You could, of course, start the day and say we're on day 4 again, immediately use all your hero shards, all your hero experience, all your recruitment tickets, etc. But there is a better way to do this, and that comes down to the arms race. Let's go back to the game here for a moment. If we go back into the game and we go up to the Events tab, the very first tab is the Arms Race tab. You can see it named here. If you click it, it'll show up like this. The Arms Race is very similar in idea to Alliance Duel. You're spending resources to gain points, and you can open these boxes. The actual resource deployment, though, is rotating on a 4-hour interval. And so every 4 hours, this changes to something new, and a select set of activities or resource expenditures will gain you points. So ideally, what you want to do is you don't just want to deploy your resources on the correct versus day. You want to wait for the correct 4-hour window on that day that aligns here with the arms race. And in that way, not only are you helping your team win the Alliance Duel and also unlocking the Alliance Duel boxes, but you're simultaneously double dipping, deploying those same resources to help you gain points here in the arms race, which also unlocks chests for you. And if you're quite effective at this, you can win the daily reward, which gains you a rather immense amount of resources and will also expedite your progress. So I hope this video has been helpful on Alliance Duel. I will do a more thorough breakdown day by day. There are specific strategies to employ on some days. There are even reasons in certain circumstances why you might want to break this concept that I just told you, this idea of linking Alliance Duel and arms race deployments. And we'll come back to that in a future video. Thank you.